What's up, CXT Kawita Extreme Takeover. Dave Payne here with Dustin Little. Filming this from Kawita, Oklahoma. Now, every time I do a YouTube video and I talk about Kawita, the little words coming up, it says Kawita, Kawita something. Here's how you spell it. C-O-W-E-T-A. We're from Kawita. We haul hay. Actually, we haul sod and dirt. Company down here, which we won't name, that's all they do. So if you need dirt, gravel, sod, we're the kingdom of that, right? It's been that way for years. Used to be down here. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Old days. So, payback is over. At this time, maybe by the time you see this video, the next SmackDown might be over. But we know Bayley and Sasha Banks, the legit boss, tag team women's champion, after 300-something days, finally went down. We're happy with that. Matt Riddle beat King Corbin. We're happy with that. Some other matches are still going while we're filming this right now. So we'll talk about that later. But mainly, my buddy Dustin Little, talked to him a little bit, known him forever, my best friend. So he's a drummer, number one, and he's an expert on the 80s, 90s hair and grunge alternative scene, which, you know, that's cool. That's like the years that we kind of follow. I mean, when I talk about the old folk and country days, you know, it's cool. I grew up on it. I love it, but, you know, I was playing metal and rock, so it was just a big part of my heart when we have Dora McClure, who is now our #1 view. I want to say that. We hit over 100 views just on her video. So we're going to have her back next week. Whoever was next week, they got bumped. I think it was Tammy the Roadie, right? Okay. So anyway, what's up, Dustin?
Not much. How are you all doing out there?
Yeah, let's get some feedback. We'll type it in, smiley faces and all that. So, first off, he's also my IT guy, and we did computers for years together. And he brought me a big old envelope. Most of it's just on CDs, so we'll have to look at them for photos. But we got one here. Let's have the producer hold this up to this. This is Sybil's machine, where I guess I was out of the photo, or I think I got kicked out for a weekend for being too drunk or something. But we got Tim, 9, and Jeff, and that right back there on the drums is the logo that I did for him, for us. So she's got to get that zeroed in. So, as always, we talk a lot about Sybil's machine. He's familiar. He helped us out on our first show when we did Sybil's version 2. Remember you brought, what was it, amps and...
Jeff brought my guitar for that show.
And you brought me an extra amp. We chained them together. Because I had this little 10-inch amp at the time. It was funny, but we were playing some hotel.
Was it the Western Horseman?
Yeah, and it was like, well, Jeff...
I-44 in Yale.
Yeah, Jeff worked there, so... You know, it was cool. The first gig we kind of were practicing. Everybody out there was like eating steaks and going, "Who are these guys?" Anyway, so then the next week we played Fishbones in Owasso, and then it was the Elephant Run, and it just kind of went from there. But anyway, so we're talking a little bit about that in the Doxy days. But we've got some things Dustin knows a lot about. So just say something about the early days or whatever. I was just talking to you, like we said, 88, 89, 90, whatever. You were living up by Seattle and close to Washington, or where was it?
Yeah, so during that time, I lived in Northern California, right below the Oregon border. But in the summers, I would go up to the Seattle area and stay with my aunt and uncle and visit them and hang out with my cousins and go downtown Seattle, check out some shows, you know. Got to see some really cool artists. At the time, you didn't realize what was happening there. But, you know, I remember Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, which at the time was converting over from Mother Love Bone.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
And that whole Pikes Market down there, I mean, that's just, it was a really cool scene at the time.
And there was one more, well, maybe that was the two you just said. Pearl Jam was the big one you saw then. I don't know, I heard of Mudhoney and people, whoever's up there. I mean, I'm no expert on that by any means, but I like it. Like, anyway, but it's sad. I mean, I'm not going to bring up something and just talk it to death, but all the lead singers from most of those bands of that era, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the one I can name right now is
Kurt Cobain,
oh yeah, I'll just keep going on.
Lane Staley.
No, but I mean, but the one that's still with us is Eddie Vedder, right?
I think he's, almost one of the last of that old guard of that grunge era.
It's sad, but I don't know what that's about. But anyway, so another thing is we talk late at night whenever he's out there, and we just call each other and stuff. And I mean, we can go on and on. He's got Sirius in his truck, and we're just going on about. He'll just send me a text and go, Faster Pussycat, bathroom wall. Well, that's pretty simple, but not that.
Yeah.
Some other obscure song, and I'll go. And see, the thing is, if I don't answer him within like 45 minutes, he gets pissed, and he's like, "What? You can't?" And I go, "It's okay. I like it. It's all right." But I'll do the same thing to you, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. I'm in this phase where I'm going back listening to all of the great albums from the 80s and 90s and catching these songs that we didn't necessarily listen to or pay much attention to.
Not the biggest hits, the other ones.
Yeah, you just didn't give them a lot of respect, and I'm just finding so many gems on these albums that just you hear it a second or third time when you're older. And you're like, no, that why didn't they release that song?
Well, what I find out is me and her, my girl, we'll listen to stuff on the TV. We have cable music channels or whatever we find it on radio or whatever. And the hair metal, sometimes we'll hear it on Rat Poison, with Lynn Hernandez. Anyway, we'll guess the song and all this, but 99% of them I'll know. And then once in a while, there'll be one I'll go, okay, this doesn't even make any sense. I'll forget. I don't even know what that's. And then when I hear it, I'll remember it. Like if I would have never heard that song again or a reference to it, I would never mention it the rest of my. And then I'll hear it. I'll go, something from Bang Tango or. Someone that wasn't the biggest band. I get a lot of that.
Britney Fox, yeah. Just go back, some of the Cinderella B-sides. Just where they really brought out that blues.
Yeah.
I last month I went back and listened to, the first Crew album. And
you were telling me.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I get it. I see what was going on there. It's just from a different perspective than when you were 16, 17 years old, whatever.
Well, also, and I think you've agreed with me on this, is that I like some of those early albums that sound like crap. Let's just, you know what I mean? Like they're garagey, they're grungy, they're not polished to death. Which, like the two examples I can think of is Motley Crue's first album, L.A. Guns' first couple albums, and just stuff like that. It's some of it's even pretty cheesy, and it sound like that I wrote it or something. I'm sorry, but I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to reference a certain person. But anyway, so
Hollywood Rose.
Yeah, Axl Rose, which I've never actually heard. Like I think some of the songs he had.
Yeah. So on the recently released special edition of Appetite, they also released their Sound City sessions. And then some pre-recorded B-sides, which they're rough. They're just really rough. But you can still see it's. I just love to hear kind of that first version, and then where they ended up at.
Yeah.
And it's hats off to them. They knew what they were doing.
Well, it's just like in the same sentence, like it's like Vince Neil back when he could sing. Haha, I'm just kidding. I love Vince Neil. Matter of fact, he's probably one of my favorite guys. But in the early days, he was hitting real high, and he just couldn't really grab it. But anyway, note to the producer, I didn't set my timer, so we got to know. Can you look on the screen there and figure out how many minutes we are in? Talk to your tech guy. Anyway, so we have the band I was first in when I got big into hair in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 88, 89, through I was there until about 92. Doxy, that's Let It Rock, the first CD. And then the second one I have around here somewhere, Innocent Till Proven Nasty. That one was with the final four that I call, Adrian, me, Jeff, and Kevin. Hang on, what was that? Where are we at?
9:56. 7.
Okay, we're gonna cut it short. We'll do another quick one right after this.